Now this is a video by the scruffy little unkempt, dishevelled Albert Steptoe lookalike Jeremy Corbyn. Being asked questions from an audience in Sheffield, and he's been shown up to be the fool and the evil little man that he is.
To be honest, Mr.
Oh my God, look at the state of that. He looks like a Yeti. Oh my God, what's this idiot got to say?
Corbyn, I don't think it's businesses who should be scared, I think it's everyone. Your reckless socialist ideas are genuinely terrifying to me, my family and my friends, and I think freedom will completely erode if we let you have the keys to number 10.
I take it all back. What a lovely man. What a lovely, lovely man, speaking a lot of sense. He looks very strange, but I've got to agree with him.
I absolutely defend the right of free speech. Freedoms and rights in a democracy are very, very important. I've spent my life getting into hot water for defending people.
Human rights? Human rights for who? For IRA terrorists? For Hezbollah and Hamas terrorists? You just support terrorists all around the world because you support their human rights. Horrible man.
And what terrifies me is I look at some of the Labour MPs, some female Labour MPs, and the misogyny that's happened in the Labour Party. They've been driven out the party. I look at a video on YouTube with Ruth Smith, particularly, because I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt in terms of maybe people are doing it in your name and not supported by you. But I look at a video of Ruth Smith online where she was in a press conference with you. And basically, Ruth Smith, a Jewish MP, was heckled out of that press conference. It's online, it's on YouTube. And there you are at the end of the press conference, chatting happily to that same heckler. I don't buy this whole nice old grandpa. I see that video and that tells me all I need to know. And I'm terrified for my daughters because I see what you did in that video. And I don't understand how you can say you stand up for human rights and free speech when that's how you support a Labour MP at a Labour press conference. I think it's disgraceful.
Well said, young man. Absolutely. You're not a cuddly old grandpa that you look like, you scruffy little twat. You are an anti-Semitic, horrible reptile. Just remember, the Nazi Party, full name was National Socialist, and you're a bloody socialist, and you're an anti-Semite. What should the Jews do? Should the Jews remain or leave? That's the question, isn't it? Never mind the Brexit referendum. What should the Jews do, Jeremy?
Bad behaviour, misogynism, racism in any form is absolutely not acceptable in any form whatsoever.
There's far too many incidents of this, Corbyn. You just haven't done anything about anti-Semitism in your party. In fact, you've encouraged it to thrive. I feel sorry for the Jews in this country if Labour gets in.
You've talked about standing by human rights and so on, but recently you took a stance alongside Evo Morales. There's protests in Bolivia that have turned violent in support of Evo Morales, including food blockades that are starving cities like La Paz. So how are you supporting human rights in that regard?
Recognise that Bolivia, before he became president, was probably the poorest country in Latin America. It isn't now.
Of course, Jeremy, that you take a position supporting communists, as you do all around the world. And how wonderful it will be when Britain is like a South American country, like Bolivia or like Venezuela. It's going to be fabulous. Or maybe, even if we go one step further and become like North Korea, it'll be a wonderful communist utopia. You fucking idiot.
Mr Corbyn, will you campaign to remain or leave in the EU if elected? Why would anyone vote Labour without knowing the answer to that question?
One, we will negotiate a credible leave deal with the European Union.
Sat on the fence again, Jeremy. You've been sat on the fence for so long, you must have so many splinters up your ass. Unbelievable. All your life you've been campaigning against the European Union, being a big leaver, supporters of Tony Benn and other socialists who want to get out of the European Union. You know exactly what it is. Big organisation for big companies, totally against what you believe as a socialist, but you just sat on the fence because all you want is to get into power, and then you can wield the axe and destroy the economy and make it all wonderful. Idiot.
Secondly, we will put that alongside Remain in a referendum, and I will adopt, as Prime Minister, if I am at the time, a neutral stance so that I can credibly carry out the results of that to bring our communities and country together.
I voted leave, Jeremy, and obviously I voted leave because I want to lose my job and I want everybody else to lose their jobs, and I want all the National Health Service to go. I want Donald Trump to take over everything in the country, and I want us all to be poorer. That's why I voted leave. You idiot. So you just accusing 17.4 million people of being total nutter idiots. We want out of the European Union. Do you understand what that means? We want out just as much as you do. You getting into power is the most important thing. Unbelievable. I mean, just look at the state of you. Can you imagine you being statesman on the world stage representing Great Britain? God help us.
Now, when there was a referendum on Europe in the 1970s, Harold Wilson remained neutral. Okay, so for people to say, oh, this is ridiculous that he's not taking a position, it's false. Democrats are saying reverse Brexit, stop Brexit. Boris Johnson is saying get Brexit done. The only person that actually has a clear strategy, a grown-up, sensible strategy, is this man right here, Jermy Corbyn.
So that idiot that's he just told a pack of lies. He said that Harold Wilson sat on the fence just like Corbyn. No, he didn't. He campaigned to remain, yeah, but he gave people a free vote. I don't know how the BBC get these people. I'm sick of it, really. I think I'm going to emigrate. I can't take any more of this. I think Labour have taken over the BBC already, to be honest with you.
Developing a credible set of policies to deal with climate emergency.
Here we go. The climate emergency. Oh my God, it's happening already. I mean, it's been raining here every day for a week. It's happening already. It's too late. It's too late. The climate emergency is happening. Nothing we can do. We're all going to die. Sea levels are going to rise. We're all going to be drowned. It's going to happen any minute. Oh my God, what are we going to do? It's all too late, Jeremy.
Could you enlighten us about what you think your Labour Party policies would do for jobs and for a good future for young people in Sheffield?
Young people in Sheffield? Who gives a bloody flying fig about Sheffield? Bloody Sheffield? Unbelievable. Open the steelworks up again.
We face a climate emergency across the whole world. It's very obvious. Unusual and extreme weather patterns have got worse and worse. And so our whole strategy is to develop a green industrial revolution which will create hundreds of thousands of jobs in the future, starting very, very quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's all just do away with our cars, because if you've got a car, you're a capitalist pig anyway, and let's all use our cycles or electric buses. The whole planet's going to be saved. Never mind that they're opening 100 coal-fired power stations every year in China, India and places like that. Don't worry about that. We all start cycling. The whole world's going to be saved. Well done, Jeremy. You saved the planet single-handedly. And yes, we'll start it here, Jeremy, and then it'll all go worldwide, just like communism needs to be. The whole world needs to be communist, doesn't it? And then it'll work and we'll have a lovely communist utopia.
You mentioned about broadband again. At a time when the NHS is desperately in need of funding, there's not an everlasting pot of money. Why do you think that's a good use of taxpayers' money?
It is that by investing in it, it actually promotes economic growth and brings about a degree of social justice. Listen.
Don't believe a word of it, people. Don't believe a word of it. The reason the Labour Party want to take over the internet is so that they can control what goes on it. And anybody who disagrees with them and wants some Conservative views or some Brexit views onto the internet, it won't be allowed. It'll all be government controlled. Don't believe a word of it. This is the first step communism does. Controls the press.
95% of the population will pay no more whatsoever in tax. The top 5% will pay a bit more. Corporation tax will go up to a maximum of 26%.
Yeah, just tax the 5%, the top 5%, just a little bit more, Jeremy. That's a good idea, isn't it? It's just scandalous. The top rate of tax is 40%. Just think about it. If somebody's earning $20,000 a year, they're paying about 20% on $10,000, so they're paying about £2,000 a year in tax. Someone's earning £1 million a year, they're paying £400,000 in tax. You want them to pay $500,000 or $600,000 in tax because you don't like rich people. Pathetic rich people are the people that create the wealth in this country. They'll all be leaving and taking the companies out. If you put a corporation tax up too high, why would companies come here and invest in Britain? They'll go somewhere where they pay less corporation tax. You're just an absolute idiot if you think that's going to raise more money for the economy. It's going to make it worse.
You're talking about delaying the Scottish independence referendum, and Boris Johnson's talking about refusing it, right? Surely you start listening to the Scottish people first and let us have a vote.
Bloody Scots. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just give them their independence, seriously. Just get rid of them. Build Hadrian's Wall up and then get on with it. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? What about people in Yorkshire or people in Lancashire? We should have independence for every single area. You're part of the UK. Live with it.
Why will Labour not support us in deciding our own future?
Didn't you have a referendum in 2014 on independence, and it was overwhelmingly to remain in the UK? Losers, you lose a referendum. Oh, we need to have it again. We need to have another. Well, don't call it a referendum. Let's call it a people's vote, because the last one wasn't people that were voting, was it? Unbelievable idiots.
So, what gives it your right to be your priority if it's a priority of the Scottish people?
What right have the UK got to dictate to Scotland? You're part of the UK, you idiot. There's as many people live in Yorkshire that live in Scotland. We have to do what the Westminster says, so do you. Well,
an incoming Labour government will invest a great deal across the UK, including 100 billion pounds will go into Scotland over 10 years.
100 billion on top of everything else. It's not a money tree, is it? It's a money forest you've got, Jeremy. 100 billion for 5 million people. I've just done the maths, so that's £20,000 for every man, woman and child in Scotland. That's fantastic. What about the every man, woman and child in England? Are we going to get 20,000 each as well? That'll be fantastic. That'll work out to about 1.3 trillion. I don't know who's done the maths. I think it must be Diane Abbott.
For our country to come together, deal with the inequality, injustice and poverty, and actually go forward to the future with some real degree of hope.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeremy. Let's end inequality. Let's have everybody equal, just like they were in Soviet Russia. I'm looking forward to living in your communist utopia. And that's sarcasm, because if you get elected, you horrible little man, I'm emigrating. As I'm sure a lot of billionaires and millionaires will also emigrate and take the businesses with them and the employment with them and end up with extremely high unemployment, which is what happens with every single Labour Party that's ever been in. All the young people today think you're wonderful, there's no tuition fees and it's all going to be fantastic. I'm afraid it's going to be a bloody nightmare. So do not vote for this man. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe and tell your friends all about it. Hopefully this might get more than 2 or 3 views. These are the opinions of the grumpy old man, and I shall see you next time.